Hello everyone. So today I'm going to do a video on expenses. We have done a version of this before, but basically Basecone, which is the supplier that we're focusing on today, they've updated their expenses module, and the old version, which is Basecone Spenser, which you can see is this app here. That is being deprecated from the 1st of December 2021, and that functionality is actually being moved into the Basecone app, which previously just handles approving invoices. It will now handle the expenses as well. So because of that, the functionality has changed a little bit, and there are some slightly different workflows to make it a little bit easier. So they've streamlined the process a little bit. So the purpose of this is just to help everyone through that migration from Spenser into the Basecone app. After the 1st of December, there will be no need to have the Spenser app, so please delete it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the Basecone app, and you may have seen very quickly there that it has face recognition, if I can put my teeth in. So it has allowed me straight into the app. If that is not switched on, you will need to put in your PIN. Okay. When you get into the app, you'll see there are 3 tabs at the bottom. Okay, so the left-hand tab for authorizations is if you need to approve invoices that have been allocated to you. The middle tab, documents, this is where your expenses will be. Okay, and settings are where you provide useful information on yourself into the app, largely for the finance team, and also to make things a little bit more simple for you as the user within the app. Okay, so I'm actually going to start with the settings because there's some helpful things that you can do for yourself and the finance team within here. Okay, before I move away from this, just note at the top right of the app there is a little house icon. That house icon is how you navigate between different companies if you are working for more than one company. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start with my details. Please enter this information. It is extremely helpful for your finance team to know who you are. It puts your name at the top of any expense claims that you send. And this is, as I say, useful information for them. So please put your name in this section and preferably your email address as well. Okay. The next one to fill in is also my accounting settings. Okay. As a minimum, I would recommend that you fill in the tag option and select the purchase invoice icon. So if you are only doing expenses or credit cards, which will be the majority of people, you only need to have the purchase invoice icon ticked. Okay, which will be the majority of people. Currency, if you are only submitting expenses in pounds, it is recommended that you come into here and just make sure that the GBP currency is ticked. Okay, otherwise you will have to select this on every single expenses sheet that you send. So again, this is to save you time, and it just means there's no danger that one will be sent as indicated as euros, or as an example, when it's not. So please do come in here and select pounds if you are only submitting pounds expenses. As another point on this, if you're doing expense claims, just the way the Basecone works, each expense claim needs to be in one currency. So if you are working in multiple currencies, your expense claim will need to state which currency you are in, and you will do a separate one for each currency. And you'll see a little bit more of how that might work in a little bit. Okay, so please do fill those in terms of the tag and the currency. The categories, we're not going to focus on that because it goes into quite a lot of detail. So please just fill in the top 2. Okay. So just to cover off authorizations, it's not the purpose of this video, but just to show you, if you have documents to authorize, they will appear in here, and you can go into them and you can approve them. by clicking on the tick at the bottom, or the cross at the bottom if you want to reject them. Okay, focusing on expenses, we're going to look at the documents page. Okay, so on the documents page, you can see I've opened this up, and what it's showing me is that I already have a draft expense claim that I created on the 5th of November, and it has one item in it for £50. Okay, so if I am still in November, I could continue to add receipts to that existing expense claim. Okay, so, or I could create another expense claim, and we're going to cover both scenarios, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the plus because I have a receipt that I want to add to an existing expense claim, or potentially create a new one. I just have a receipt that I need to get into an expense claim. Okay, so I'm going to click on plus, and I'm going to click on camera. Okay, and then I've got my receipt here, and I have to be steady, and I just hold it in place, and the system will take a picture of that for me. Okay, now if it was like an invoice and I needed to have 2 pages, this is where I would take another picture and it would put the 2 pages together. Okay, but this is just one receipt, 1 page, so I'm going to press done. Okay, if you do take another picture, it won't split it into 2 different items. You are doing 1 picture for 1 item at a time. Okay, so you can't do 1 receipt for lunch and then another receipt from B&Q at one go. Now you need to do them individually. So I'm going to press done. Okay, it then puts in a description. Please be helpful with your descriptions. So I'm just going to say for this one, lunch with client X. Okay, and I'm going to select my payment method. So business payment as a payment method means no one has paid for this, so it is likely to be an invoice, and I want the business to pay for it. Private payment means I have paid for it, and I want the business to reimburse me. Credit card means it has been paid on the credit card, and it will come through on my credit card statement. Okay, so I'm going to select private payment, and here you can see we have to fill in all the boxes. So at the top it's saying the company that I'm submitting that expense claim for, the description that I entered. It's also picked up the private payment, and now it's asking me what expense claim I want to allocate this receipt to. So if I select that, you can see at the top it said these are the current expense claims that you have open. Okay, so I'm going to select my November expense claim that I already have open, which we saw on the front screen at the beginning. Okay, I can't select the currency because I put that into my settings, and I'm going to put in the amount, which is $22.30. Okay, I then select my category, which I'm going to put as client entertaining, and you can see I've got the date there filled in as today, and then I'm just going to press save because I filled in all the details. And you can see now that it redirects me to my expense claim. I've got 2 items, the one that I had previously and the one that I have just added. Okay, now the idea of this is that I would simply keep adding to this until I get to the end of the November month, and then at the bottom you can see I would press the send paper aeroplane icon to send that completed expense claim to finance at the end of the month. Please don't keep sending individual receipts as individual expense claim forms. It creates more work for your finance team, and it's not helpful. Okay, so please just build this up until you get to the end of the month as a personal expense claim form, and then press send at the bottom. Okay. Because I'm still in November, I am going to leave this open, so I'm just going to press the arrow at the top left to go out of this screen, and you can see this takes me back to the main screen where we started, where I've got that expense claim form showing in my list as $72.30, which is the sum of the 2 items in there. Okay, so now I've got another receipt, just to do a different example, and I've paid it on my credit card. Okay. So this is so that when finance receive the credit card statement, all of the receipts that I'm putting in here should add up to the items which are on my credit card statement. Okay. So again, I'm just going to click on the plus. I'm going to go to camera, and I'm just going to hold this over the receipt until it tells me it's okay. And then it takes that picture, and I'm going to press done. Okay. Description. Be helpful with your descriptions. It just saves questions later. I'm going to say credit card. And again, I'm going to say, it is a restaurant, but I'm going to say it's travel just to do something different. Okay. To, I don't know, London, that'll do. And I'm going to select my payment method. And in this instance, I'm going to select credit card. Okay. I then have to select an expense claim form. Now what you'll see is I can't select the expenses one because it is not private payment. So because I have selected a different payment method, I cannot select an expense claim form which is under a different payment method. So I have to press plus. Okay, and this one again, I'm going to be helpful with my description. I'm going to say this is my credit card claim or list. It's probably better. November 21. Remembering that this should be the sum of all of the items for my credit card. Okay. So when I now click back, I don't think I saved it, so I'm going to have to do it again. Did I press save? Try again. Credit card, November 21. Save. Okay, I obviously didn't press save. So remember to press save. I then put in the amount. It's for £68. I'm going to select the category, which is for travel. And I have then completed that item. All the boxes are filled. Just check the details and press save. You can see that has created a new expense claim form, which is called credit card for November. And I would just keep adding to that throughout the month until it is complete. And I need to submit my full credit card expenses list, which should match to my credit card statement, bar any bank charges that come through on the credit card statement. Okay. And if I go back now, you can see that I now have two items to which I can allocate my expenses to throughout the month. Okay. And that is how Basecone works in terms of submitting expenses. So please just be helpful with your descriptions on the receipts and on the names of the expense claim forms, depending on the payment method that you have selected. If you are working in currencies, just bear in mind that you would need one expense claim per type, per currency. Okay. If you have any questions on this, please do ask us. But hopefully that's made everything quite clear in terms of how the new app works, because the old one will be expiring on the 1st of December 21. Thank you. Bye.